Okay, cool. Now that we're done with our material, we can actually begin to model our asset. Now, I'm gonna use screencast keys on the bottom left. So yeah, like check it out, because if you're a bit confused on what I'm doing, you can see exactly what I'm pressing. Now, I will remind you, I am using several add-ons with box cutter, hard ops, decal machine. I'm using mesh machine as well, and machine tools, and a couple others like GrabDoc. Um, this Unreal Engine plugin that I showed earlier that I used, power save, and that's pretty much it. GrabDoc is super important for setting up the scene for baking trim sheets, so you are gonna want to get that one. It's free anyway. I might put the link in the description. Anyway, so first things first, we delete the cube. How surprising. Hit numpad 1, and we go into front orthographic view, and we're gonna add in an image reference. Now, I downloaded our plant thingy. I'm gonna go find it. Great. So now we have our asset. Now, we don't have any reference on actually how tall it is. Um, I mean, the only reference is this fern thingy, but ferns can be pretty high as well, so I don't know. Let's make it decently big, maybe like a 4 meters tall, something like this. It might look like it's actually doable, like 4-ish. So I'm just gonna add a cube, obviously. So this cube is 2 meters tall. I already know that. So just gonna go into item, and on the Z, I'm gonna put 400 centimeters. So now it's gonna be 4 meters tall, and I'm gonna roughly match our reference picture. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm also gonna center it because it's slightly off center. Good. Now we have our reference photo. What we can do also with it is we enter again orthographic view, and we can actually hide it and make it viewable only on the specific axes aligned, which if we get out, you'll see that it disappears, right? Not show it into perspective. Perfect. So now we cannot see it at all in perspective, but we can only see it once we enter front ortho view. And that's all we need because we don't have any other preference from any other view. So ortho will have to do. Now, I don't know how wide it is. We're going to kind of eyeball it. Like now this looks a bit too wide, but until I flesh it out a little bit more, I'm not going to know. So roughly it's going to be about the wide. Move it a bit. Perfect. Now I want to enter in Alt Z and go into, I want to lock this layer. Jesus, wasn't there like a thing to lock it? There used to be. Just not make it clickable will do. So, right, we're gonna also probably activate the wireframe. Actually, no, I want to keep this. First things first, what we want to do is we want to make the top. So I'm gonna bring this all the way up, like roughly here. And I'm just gonna extrude it along normals ever so slightly because it's not so much. Yeah, since it's skewed, as you can see, right? Like it's skewed, it's not correctly extruded. I want to go back and apply rotation and scale. And now that I do it, you'll see that it's actually extruding correctly. Great. I'm gonna do it a little bit more actually, just like this, and go back into transparent. Now it goes inside a little bit here. The thing is that there are these glass, if you will, rectangles, like thingies, incubators. So we might want to divide this into two. So the top part and the bottom part, and the middle part, which is going to use 3 cubes, which we're going to stretch to triangles and then bevel them accordingly. So what I'm going to do here is that actually this. I'm gonna create a bevel like that. I'm gonna actually grab this edge and move it down. Yeah, I'm actually gonna move it here. And this edge is actually all right. Create a new one. Just bevel it again. 2, and then just size it inwards, and then on SX. That looks about right. Great. So next thing we can do, X, delete the faces, like this, F, fill it, F to fill it, and then we can just literally exit the view, and what can we do? Probably inset it ever so slightly. I'm just gonna do them one by one. No, actually this inset, I will do it cumulative, and then, yeah, I think something like this will do. And then I'm just gonna extrude it upwards, slightly. EZ, extrude upwards, EZ, extrude downwards. Yeah, this will do. Great. So, back again. Right, there is this part right here, which we're also going to be working on. I don't think I'm going to connect it. Or should I? Can't really tell. Yeah, it seems like it's connected. Like also this one it's a continuation of it. So we might actually want to connect it. Just going to create a Boolean cutter for it. And yeah, we're just going to mess with it a little bit. But first I want to block out these 3 pieces. So what we can do here, what's a smart way to do this? It would be most likely, let me look at it again, how much gap there is in between. Not a lot, it seems. No, it's actually very flush with the... Jesus, I exited. It's a very flush with this rim right here. So what we're gonna do... Yeah, we can give it actually the rough bevel, like on the outside, so that it's gonna carry forward with the others. Maybe I could do it later and just do them all together. Yeah, let's test it. So I'm gonna reactivate this. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna grab this, duplicate it, slap it back, and separate the selection. Now this is another object, right? So what I wanna do, actually, yeah, what I wanna do is this. But to be fair, it seems like both our objects are very wide. So I'm gonna reduce them a little bit, because if I actually bring this back into perspective, so let's say I want to look at it, not only axis aligned. So it does look like it's pretty wide, but not too wide. As in, this might actually do. Yeah, this is the bad thing of not having enough references. You kind of have to eyeball some of the things, but if you get them right, it's not so bad. So ideally, these 3 will look like 3 squares, right? More or less. Like there is a bit of a gap, so I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'll select these 2 by rotation and scale. Remember, this is a blockout. I'm just getting an idea on what to do. So I'm just gonna select these 2. I think this is the right gap. Select these 3 and EZ. There you go. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of eyeballed it, but Jesus, it actually looks okay. You know? Yeah, I can work with this. Good. Now, just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna Alt Shift select these. Do the same to these. Jesus, what did I click? I can just symmetrize it to the other side. Whatever. Just bevel it like such. Oh, I'm stupid. I also forgot I need these. Rookie mistake. Yeah, they're more or less all the same bevel. So now don't bevel it too much, but also don't bevel it too little. Remember that we're still gonna see that bevel. I'm gonna sharpen both. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like it could work. Great. Now all we need to do is symmetrize it. So we can literally just bisect the fire apply. Perfect. Symmetrized and symmetrized, and we are good. Very nice. Now, as you can see, this one, since it's skewed, right, it did not read this edge as a bevel edge. Now, if you mark it, it will. Although, it's just marking it as sharp now, so it's not really beveling it, but because if we go and actually bevel it, so at 1, you will see that it is not being beveled. The reason why it's not being beveled is because bevel, by default, sets itself up to be at an angle. And whatever that angle is, it's just going to bevel it. So it's honestly sometimes not a good idea to mess with this. So what I normally do is that I leave it to 30, I just change it to weight, which is going to take into consideration the weight of the edge. And in this case, it's marked sharp, so it will bevel. And there you go. And then we will just add our weighted normals. Now, if you don't like it because maybe it looks too smooth, you can always fix it like that. Not bad. It's a good starting point. I think I think honestly the width is not so bad. I'm just gonna dissolve this edge, grab this face, duplicate, and separate it for now. I just want to have a rough idea of the. Like, I don't like to work without references, but into geometry. I don't really like to work without references, but in this case, I have to, sadly, because there aren't enough references. So, GZ. I'm just gonna come down. I think it goes halfway. Yeah, that looks about alright. Cool. I can just bevel these. First, maybe apply rotation and scale. Now bevel them up. And that's about right. Extrude outwards. This I can actually tell. Well, just grab everything and bring them up a little bit. Okay, cool. Now I can just GX. Yep. That's pretty cool. Nice. I think it's really just chamfered, to be honest. It is, isn't it? Just gonna chamfer it. Yeah, but not the bottom. Everything is chamfered but the bottom. Yeah, it looks something like this. Just a little bit more. Right. Sharpen. And that's it. Cool. And the rest is pipes. Does it look good? Sort of. It looks pretty similar. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that looks about right. Don't think it would get much better than this as a blockout. So cool. I think we can now actually go in and make it correctly, because when I scaled it, right, it skewed like some of the things. Like as you can see, this does not look good. So we're gonna have to like do it properly. Now the way I do this normally, it would be like this. So I'd make a cube, right? Make sure actually that these are all one object. So Control J. Why the hell my screencast keys are not working anymore? Right, screencast keys froze. Jesus. Okay, now they work again. So yeah, apologies for that. So now what we want to do is basically turn on edge snapping, vertex snapping, and face snapping. But as you can see, I'm not turning it on. I'll show you why. So let's say we make it just as tall, but we're gonna make it a little less tall. So what we do is we enter edit mode, like select this face, G, Z, and as you can see, you can try to match it exactly the same, or you can click Control, and there you go, snap to the face. So if you have this on, it's gonna work the other way. So it snaps all the time, unless you hit Control, and then you have freedom. Now this really depends. Like it's up to you. Personally, I do not like it that it snaps automatically. I prefer that it snaps when I want it to. So I can free move it unless I press Control and I hold it, and then it's gonna snap to either edge, vertex, or face. In this case, I want it to snap to the face. And that works perfectly fine for me. And this one, I'm gonna GY, Control, snap it to this face. GY, Control, snap it to this face. And then I can just grab this face and GX in this case and snap it to this one. And this one GX and snap it to that one. And this one GZ, snap it to this one. Yep, that works. Cool. So apply rotation and scale. And now what we want to do, we want to go into this mode and do a very similar thing. So we're going to start by creating an edge loop here and just go all the way up. And then let's just hide this cube. So we grab these and we extrude along normals about this much. Yep. This is actually a hard edge. Let me see. It's slightly beveled. We can include that with the beveling. It's fine. Then we also have this. So halfway through, it's gonna be cut. So we could start using hard ops and box cutter, but I'm gonna try to keep it as vanilla as possible. To be honest, like it's fine. Yeah, actually gonna do it like this time. Go S Z. Just do it like before. It honestly works fine. Extrude faces along normals. We extrude it inwards. That's about right. S Z, and we're good. Right, again this one, and yeah, that's perfectly aligned. Now we can delete the faces. Merge, merge. Select this and this, and we extrude them inwards, just ever so slightly. Like that is fine. And now we can extrude it along the z-axis. And this much will do. And this much will do as well. Cool. Now, just like we did before, we can grab this face, duplicate it, leave it, separate selection, select it, go into edit mode. There you go. Add two edge loops, level them up, give it a bit of a gap, delete those faces, select these three, extrude on the z-axis, and done. Now again, we're gonna select these two, open them up, and we're just gonna select all these edges and bevel them up. Just like that. I would say this is more than enough. Oh, Jesus. Sharpen, sharpen. And now we're gonna modifier apply, symmetrize on the other side. And we're gonna symmetrize on the other side, that one as well. Good. So now we have a perfectly symmetrical object, and it actually looks good. It's not skewed and it doesn't look like crap. Cool. Now, next, we're gonna do this piece. For that, let's see. So, ideally, we would want to knife it. Yeah, we can just knife it, extrude inwards. So there's a few things we can do. Personally, I would go with box cutter and just use the knife tool because why not? There's a way you can select the center and radiate from it, just like this. Right. So I want to move it on the z-axis actually. Not that z-axis. This z-axis. For some reason, is the y-axis. Cool. Yeah, this will do. Now, it made the cut. As you can see, it went all the way down. We can actually just delete these edges. And to be fair, because we use this for the symmetry, we can delete those as well. Now, these are not exactly in place, so we're gonna bring them up to this point. Jesus, I hate how when I get out of this view, this is in the way. I don't like it. So I'm gonna hide it from perspective and only axes aligned. Right. And the view somehow still goes there, probably because I had it selected. So we're gonna bevel these vertices. Yeah, like that. And now we're gonna extrude them. Perfect. Yes, like that will do. Now remember, we have to chamfer everything but the bottom edge. So we're gonna chamfer everything like this. Sharpen again. Very nice. So now, what are we missing? We're missing this part and the pipes. The pipes I'm gonna do last. First, I wanna do this part. So this is gonna be pretty straightforward. Just gonna click and use box cutter and just, honestly, we can knife it. Yeah, let's knife it. So I'm gonna start from here, then just go all the way here. Great. Now what I can do is I can grab these 4 vertices, just go back into this view, bevel them. Just like this. Cool. Now, we want to grab these faces. Extrude faces along the normals. And there we go. Simple as that. I want to resharpen just to be safe. I'm not sure, but there might be actually, yeah, there is a slight chamfer on it. So we're going to add it. So we're going to select this edge loop, just chamfer it. Yo, what? Okay, hold on. The hell? Why is it not selecting all of it? Okay, now it seems like it's selected all of it. Strange, I had to select it manually. I never have to do this. Anyway, so we're gonna chamfer it just a little bit. There you go. Cool. Yeah, chamfer looks about right. Man, I've become good at eyeballing shit. Okay, good. Now, what other details may we add? Now, there's gonna be this, right? We're gonna take care of it later when we start messing around with materials. Yeah, this is gonna be separated for sure. So is this one, and so are these different colored parts. We're gonna separate all these. For now, I want to focus on the pipes. So this is the last element that we actually need for now of the big ones, the main details. So yeah, I'm wondering if this is actually wide enough, but we'll find out soon enough. It should be looking like this. So yeah, we're gonna see. So for now, I'm just gonna create a circle, rotate it the y-axis of 90. Actually, apologies. Just gotta first. 32 is, it's fine. It's all right. It's just a couple of. It's not too crazy as geometry, so it will work. No, actually, I don't want to do this because I want to keep it in the middle. So, just like that. So I'm gonna move it like this and roughly position it. Cool. Slap it to the face, and I'm just gonna go into edit mode. Wait, I go into edit mode for the circle. What the hell? Ah, I see. So I accidentally made the circle inside the other object. So I'm gonna now separate it and give it its own origin to geometry. Perfect. So now this is separated from the others. Soon we're gonna have to start doing nomenclature because this is a mess. Right. So I'm gonna select everything, merge it with F, then extrude it. Normals are inverted, as you can see. By the way, if you want to tell right away if your normals are inverted, you're gonna have to not go into render mode. You're gonna have to go into here and face orientation. Like with face orientation, you can actually see if they're inverted. Now, you actually have to go into the preferences, themes, and it's like in the 3D view, or and it's somewhere here. Ah, face orientation back. There you go. So see, I selected to be red. Now you could change that, but honestly, for me, it works just fine. You can make it even blue if you want, right? But for me, red works. So I'm gonna leave it at that. No blue. Thank you. Perfect. Now, how do I invert it? Either Control N. Sorry, Jesus. Shift N. Shift N, or I just go here and I flip, and it will flip the normals. Now I just reflip them back to inverted. So now there you go. Now I want to see if this is correct, and it is not. It's way bigger than this. Like, so since we put the origin at the beginning, now we can just see scale it, and it was gonna stay there. I'm just gonna scale it and move it because I kind of want to get it right. Cool. Will it fit two of them though? Oof, barely. Jesus. Okay, this is a tight fit. It did not look that tight in the thing. And it is not, which means that this is a little wider than I thought it was. It's okay, we can make that work. So, to make this slightly wider, I'm just gonna go to this view and just, if we grab these and we just do this, as you see, they're gonna get skewed. It looks weird. So we're instead just gonna be moving them towards a little bit more towards the Y. Let's say about this much. Cool. And then we'll just symmetrize. Good. Now it's a little wider than it should be, this thing, but it will do just fine. Yeah, that looks correct. Cool. Now this, so get to this point, we wanna probably bring this extrusion a little bit more forward. Great. Then hit on the 3D cursor, set it up here, and we can just go into spin and just do this. Magic. Hello everybody, so this is Nick from the future, and I thought that this part could use a little bit of clarification. So what I did here was to use a spin, right? So the way you approach this is pretty much, so let's say we have the cylinder, right? Like we have it at 32. It's pretty much the same as we had in the in the scene. Then I was in front view, which is numpad 1, and it was rotated on the y-axis of 90, so it was pretty much positioned like this. So a spin is gonna grab whatever face that you have selected and is gonna, extrude it outwards in a specific way, like curving around the 3D cursor, which is this one. So wherever you position the 3D cursor, the spin is gonna occur, okay? So like, let's say I do it like that, and you see it will spin that way. Now, the way this is done normally is that you snap into orthographic view. By the way, you can press numpad 1, or you can just rotate with the middle mouse and hold Alt until you pretty much reach the correct view, and it will snap on by itself. You see, it's just snapping by itself into that view. If I press numpad 1, is the same. See, there you go. And then wherever the 3D cursor is, the spin is gonna follow. So for example, one rule is that you never want to have it ahead of where the faces should be spinning, because otherwise this is gonna happen. Look how messed up that is. It's horrible, right? So unless that's what you're looking for, but I really doubt that. So if it's behind, it's gonna be the same story. It's gonna look crooked as hell like this, right? So for a precise spin, you really need to be along this axis. So you can eyeball it. You can eyeball it by doing this. Let's say I want to have a really close spin. So now it's going to be really tight. And I'm going to do this. See? Now that's a very close spin. Or I want to have a further one. I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to go spin again. And there you go. Now it's like a really wide one. Or you can do it more precisely by literally just grabbing a point and duplicate it and bring it down as much as you want. Let's say I want to have a spin here, okay? And then with that point selected, you P and separate the selection. You grab that point and you put cursor to selected. Actually, yeah, sorry, you have to go into edit mode, selected, and then cursor to selected. And now it's perfect, like it's perfectly aligned with it, okay? You can even delete it, go back into this object, and then go into a spin. Oh, first we need to select the face, and then go into a spin. And there you go. Now it's going to be perfectly aligned. Another thing, you can, after you spin, select the amount of faces, actually amount of steps that you want the spin to have. Maybe you want it to not to be kind of low poly, and so five steps is more than enough. Maybe you want to have it quite high poly, and you want to go for 40. But remember, we're making like sort of an asset for a game, even though we'll stray a bit from that by, using ray trace glass and all that, but more of that later. So I want to keep it kind of sober, and like look at the far point, like this is pretty blocky. So maybe a 20 will do. Yeah, something like that, whatever. There you go. Another important thing, if you have trouble, it's because the rotation is wrong. So for example, now it's on the X. This is not gonna go well, see? And also you never wanna, the reason is you never wanna spin from like a perspective view. Just go to the view where you wanna spin, like for me is numpad 1 or control numpad 1, which goes on the other side. So this is the back, this is the front, you can see it up here, okay? So front and back. And you want to check if from here you can actually see the curvature of the tool, but I don't. So it's the y-axis, and it's the y-axis in the video as well, okay? So from here, I want to grab it and spin it. And, little bonus, you don't need to eyeball this either, because then when you go try to extrude it, it's going to look wrong. Maybe you want it straight down, so you click, you start spinning, and then you hold control, and you will get this little UI tool, which is gonna, make you understand how, like it's gonna snap to increments and will make you understand where, like how far you're spinning. For example, you want it at 90 degrees. Well, sorry, a solid 180 degrees. That's a solid 180 degrees. Now, if I extrude it, it's done. And if I want, like, let's say, just a 90 degrees, I'm gonna this time position it manually because, well, I don't need to be super precise. And I just hold Control and I go for 90. And then I can extrude it again, and there you go. Yeah, that's about right. Because now if I extrude it downwards, it should be flat. Yes. Cool. Now I'm gonna extrude it downwards again. Actually, up to, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna flatten it to that point. Just select all these, extrude along the normals. How far is it? Yeah, it's about this much, and then we can just grab this edge and chamfer it inwards like this. So that's pretty much what it is. Cool. Sharpen. Nice. Now, this also has a little bit of an extra geometry piece here. Just gonna, no, I'm not gonna chamfer this. I'm just gonna sharpen it and leave it like this, because then once we go bevel it, like, it's gonna take care of it by itself, like that. Okay. I do not want to apply bevel yet. For now, I still want to fix things. So, one thing we can do now is that we can select this one and duplicate it, sure, but it's not going to be precise. So if we want to have it precise, we just shift click on this, which has the geometry at the center. Then we Alt X and we just put modifier. There you go. Now it's precise. Perfection. Yeah, that looks about right. Cool. Might actually look like it's a little bit lower than that. And a bit more chamfered as well. Actually, no, maybe a bit less. Oof. So let's just unfuse. No, apologies. Unchamfer. We're just gonna grab this face. GX. Just a little bit lower. I like it better like this anyway. And just chamfer it. And just resharpen. Okay. Yeah, that looks more like it. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Now this we could make it geometry. We actually might want to make it geometry. This doesn't have to be geometry at all, but this really looks like it's punched inwards. Uh, Everything else is absolutely decals, but this might as well be geometry with 3 decals inside. I'm not gonna lie. Let's do it. Okay, so once again, we're gonna grab the box cutter. It's Alt W, by the way. And we're gonna grab the knife tool. No, in this case, actually, we're gonna grab the box cutter, like the proper difference one. Cut. And we're gonna roughly draw the shape and just slightly punch it inwards, and confirm it. Now get out of X-ray. Select every scroll and just take a look at it. It's not so bad. A little bit of tweaking and we're good. Cool. Now I'm gonna cycle select all these. By the way, first apply rotation scale, cycle select, and go back into this view with X-ray, otherwise I cannot see shit. And it's a little bit too tall, I just noticed. So I'm gonna reposition it correctly. Cool. Now again, we apply rotation and scale. Cycle select. Back into this view. X-ray. No, that's fine. Might be a little bit too insetted. Oh boy, it's also on the other side. Huh, this is fine. Can be replicated easily, but first I gotta get it right on this side. Yeah, I think it's good like this. Honestly, a little bit, perhaps less inward. Yeah, it looks like it's a bit too far in. So this is fine. Then with this selected, so with the cutter selected, shift select the other shape, Alt X, modifier. And now it's on the other side too. I can just hide the cutter. Cool. Done. So the overall shape, it's done. Now this is it's fine and dandy. That's all you need. We're gonna have to triangulate things a bit later, but for now, it serves our purpose. So what I'm gonna do, making sure that I only have the boolean as a modifier. I'm gonna go into operations and smart apply. As you can see now, it applied in a very terrible way the boolean, right? I mean, isn't look at these connections. What the hell? What is this? Um, yeah. To be fair, I'm just gonna yeah, I just fix it right away and just get rid of it because this is kind of disgusting. I really don't like it. For now, I'm just gonna join it like this because they're pretty straight and dissolve this. Make sure also the vertex is gone, and it is. This connection also sucks because if I go bevel it, it's gonna cause trouble. So I'm gonna get rid of that one too. Pretty sure on the other side is gonna be the same story. Of course it is. I am pretty sure I can still symmetrize because everything is still very symmetrical, both on the front and on the back. Just gonna go check just to be safe. And it is. Yes, it's perfectly symmetrical so far. Hell, even this could be symmetrized, and even this. Good. This model is very symmetrical. We're just gonna get out, symmetrize it to the back. Now also the back is the same. Question mark. It's not. Would. Symmetrized it the wrong way. Okay, yeah, good. Now it's symmetrized correctly. Right, and for now that's it. We have our own base model. Now we didn't do the fern inside yet and all of the rest of the stuff, but this as a starting point is a good starting point. So there's another piece that we need, which is this. There you go. Which is this at the bottom, right? So what we can do here is actually grab box cutter, get the knife tool, and we are gonna do this, right? So this is gonna do a very precise line cut at the bottom. You can grab everything. Make sure you selected all of it. Not that. Oh, my screencast keys are not on. Apologies. Alt T, extrude faces along the normals, and just outset it ever so slightly. Now, sharpen it. Now, the great advantage of working with such models, which do not require any baking whatsoever, is that you can kind of just not care so much about triangulation and everything. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, the best way is always to go in and manually start to triangulate everything. But because of time saving that you can do, you can just literally let Blender triangulate it. Now there is a specific array of modifiers you can use. I will show you how. But in these case scenarios, you don't necessarily need to manually triangulate. Now it's always Don't get me wrong, it's always better if you do. Just I'm not gonna do it because it takes a lot of time, and honestly, this model doesn't really require it. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna remove these edges because I don't need them. Um, cool. Now it's about as clean as it can possibly be, and I remove triangulate for now. So first things first, we're gonna apply a bevel, right? So you can do it manually with the add-on. Sorry, you can do it manually with the just apply a modifier, or you can use the add-on. Now I'm gonna do it ever so slightly. I don't really want a ton of bevel, and I'm by the way using just one edge bevel like this. Cool, and this serves me just fine. Mind you that when this is applied, um, the segment is one, but it's gonna apply on angle. I always want to do it on weight because uh, weight just takes into consideration. Remember the what is marked as sharp. So these are all marked, right? So it's gonna bevel them. Now, by any chance, let's say wedges are marked, it's gonna look like this. So it looks terrible. So you have to make sure that you correctly marked everything. Then you go on to the smallest gap that you have with marked edges. For me, is this one, and you gotta make sure that they're not overlapping. Okay, so in my case, they're not. So I'm just gonna go in and take a look that they're not overlapping, and they're not. Like honestly, this looks fine. Cool. After done this little overlap check, nothing is overlapping. Now we can actually go in and apply our weighted normal. And with the weighted normal, now it looks like it's actually beveled, even though it's not. So this will literally allow us from, actually either doing like a multi-segmented bevel, we're just doing a simple chamfer, and will prevent us from actually having to go in and bake a proper normal map to make it seem that it's actually, a multi-segmented bevel. Obviously not just for that, but this is one of the reasons why you want to bake normal maps. That's pretty much it. Now this one, we don't even need to do it. At least we don't need to bevel and do normal because this is already like, a multi-edge bevel because it's big enough. And yeah, that's pretty good. Now, next thing we want to do is we want to apply in a triangulate, right? And keep the normals. This is not really necessary because I'm not going to mess around with the normals, but just hit it. And that's about it. This one we want to do the same. Watch it, because there is a mirror modifier. We apply the mirror. Cool. We give it a sharpen, bevel. Once again, just one segment bevel. Okay. And then we're going to do exactly the same. Weighted normal. And then we're going to apply the triangulate with keep normals. Remember, the triangulate always has to go after. If you triangulate before, it's going to get messy. Okay. Like normally, well, now you cannot see it with this one, but there are some cases where you triangulate before and it starts collapsing on itself, like once you bevel it, like this. So you don't want to ever triangulate before you bevel. So triangulate always has to be the last thing you do. You apply it. Looks like this. Okay, so the mesh is now triangulated. Honestly, once again, this is not best practice, but it will work, like for our needs. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I just noticed, I'm not a massive fan of this. Of this is just, I don't know, of this inset right here. Like there is no chamfer on it. Normally, I like to chamfer things quite a bit. Uh, so we could theoretically just run a simple chamfer like this, and it's gonna look much better. So let's do it on both sides. Okay, very nice. I'm gonna change the matte cap. Check if I have any shading issues. So far, so good. Right. Okay, cool. Model looks good. We'll change the matte cap back to studio. Next up, what do we want to do? Let's take a look at the model. All right, there are these little details here which can be turned into decals once again. Right. Yeah, we could go in and subdivide the mesh a little bit more. I mean, subdivide, sorry. Actually, like, do these parts. Um, yeah. Does this have a chamfer on? No, just has a little bevel. Uh, let's actually give it one. Shit. Why is it skewed like this? Okay, so it's the only part that is kind of like offsetted. Okay, this is a bit offsetted, so we're gonna redo this. It's not a big deal. Just literally do an extrude upward. Good. Yeah, not so much. Okay. Just I'll just give it a chamfer because now it looks better. Okay. Cool. Now, so we want to divide like the rest of the mesh. So what I'm gonna do? Hey, no way, Blender crashed. Okay, I'm back. Blender crashed. Thank God. I always have my power save, saving auto saves every minute, so that nothing was lost. Okay, cool. Now we wanna do this part, right? Check if the geometry is good here. It is. Cool. So, there is actually. Yeah, as you can see, this could be bothering us when we go do this operation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower it like here. Now, still grabbing this, I'm gonna go into box cutter and I'm gonna go into the end gun slicer. And the mode that I'm gonna use is gonna be slice. Uh, okay, once again, I normally don't have so much trouble with this. Probably because of the white background of the thing. All right, I'm just gonna apply it. I mean, not apply it, but right. Now, obviously, I messed up with all my thing, but I'm gonna scale it on the Y. Cool. Just gonna double check if it lines up. Looky look, it does not. Okay, cool. Now it does. Now I'm gonna go into Shift Bool and I'm gonna let it slice it. Yes. And the original model is very, yeah, it's very like straight edges. It's not really, but can give it a little bit of a bevel here, to be honest. Yeah, just like that. That will do. Now we can hide this. Operation Smart Apply. Straight up. Finish it off. Sharpen. Sharpen. And of course, it applied the triangulate and everything else.
Keep in mind this as well. Have to remove some of the modifiers. This is why I normally put them in the end, because it uh, can easily mess up with your model. With a normal should not be applied technically, but triangulate will apply. So keep that in mind. Cool. Now we do have some artifacting going on, but uh, right, there's still a modifier that is not applied. Right, this one. What the hell? Okay, now it is applied. Something is still overlapping. So this is one piece. This one piece. Why are you overlapping like this? Interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna redo it because I don't like this thing. I don't like it and I don't trust it. I don't understand why. Never seen this. Okay, so let's remove both of these. And I assume this is the actual boolean that we're running. Yeah. So theoretically, Jesus, I didn't remove the triangulate, did I? I did not. Now it should be good. Yeah. No, it's not overlapping. I don't know what I did before. That was really weird. Okay. So, nice. Now we have this clear separation, right? Perfect. Now we want to do the same, but at the bottom. All right, cool. So now we'll do this part. Same story applies. I want to use the end gone cutter. Make sure. I honestly just hate this. Like, legit. I cannot see a bloody thing. Pop wireframe, because really, otherwise I just don't see. I'm just gonna select these. Just bring them up. Oh, a touch. Yes, that will do. Uh, and also, since I'm using wireframe, I'm gonna hide these. Right. So mesh selected. I'm gonna go back to the end gone cutter. It's still gonna be running slice. To be fair, I could also be running knife. Mm. Yeah, you know what? I might actually be running knife. It makes things a little bit easier. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There is an issue though with running knife that I'm warning you about now. Now, whenever you knife something, um, it's not an editable cutter. This means that you cannot just go in later and edit it. So let's say this is not symmetrical and you really wanted to make it symmetrical. It's going to be a problem. Like you will have to symmetrize it on the other side. The problem is that this shape is asymmetrical because there's this part, right? So if you go symmetrize it, it will symmetrize this on the other side, then you'll have to delete it. It's a pain in the ass. Now, mm, if you really care that this thing lines up perfectly, then you'll have to do the slice. What the? Very interesting. You'll have to do the slice and then and do exactly what we did before, because then you can symmetrize the slice. I'll show you what I mean, also because our knife got messed up. So, right, just gotta use X-ray again. Okay, slice. I'll start from here. Do this. And you know what? I'm just gonna go through just to show you what I mean. There. Now, yeah, stopped again here. Box cutter is hating me today for some reason. Right. It did its job, sort of. Right. Now what we want to do is we're gonna go into ever scroll, grab this, and just scale it on the Y. Right. So it's going like this, right? We need the other piece going up. So the way we're gonna do this, since we want it to be symmetrical, is that we grab this and we grab, let's say this, Alt X, modifier, boom, done. That is it. Now it's perfectly symmetrical to the center. Okay. So for example, if you didn't align it perfectly, there you go. See, like it's not gonna be perfect to the reference, but it is perfect to the model. So that's all you care about. Anyway, so go into operations, smart apply, and smart apply. Like this, make sure everything is done correctly. Oh yeah, this is parent, obviously. We'll resharpen. And we are good. And we have again the story here. If I know what's up. Let me take a look at it one sec. Alright, so I had a quick look at it. If we isolate this, these are all inverted. And so are these. The screencast is not working again. That could be because I crashed and I didn't turn it back on. Anyway, we select, Control Select, Shift N, and that's it. Now if I check it out, yeah. Cool, that's a bevel, alright. Okay, now that I resharpen, oh, perfect. Keep in mind that you created now a whole bunch of new geometry, right? You don't necessarily need to have this. You can easily keep the geometry if you like. And when you go weighted normals, see, it's gonna look like there is a little, thingy running through. But what you can also do is this. So I'll remove the weighted normal. And I'm actually gonna isolate and just remove. Wait, what? Okay, so that's the shortest path, obviously. Just gonna select them like this and delete faces. And then I'll grab the bottom part, delete the faces. And also on the top parts, same story, delete the faces. And I think I'm missing still, what, this? Yeah. And delete the faces. So now when you go back, right, like you won't really see any gaps here. It's just a separation. And you might wonder, what's the point? Well, because we'll apply a different material. And then we will apply an edge running through with the decal machine, right? So sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it isn't. In this case, it's a good idea, and anyway, for the sake of practice, we're gonna do it. Right, another part that I didn't really notice that is insetted is this. Now, we're gonna have to inset it. It also looks like another color. It does. So we'll change this into another color. We'll also have to do this part. And also these little parts. You could make these into a decal, all in all. But you would have to make it the subset part. And you would have to color match it perfectly to this. It's a little bit of a headache. And it takes a lot of fine tuning. Honestly, I just prefer to split it from the rest of the surface and be done with it. So we'll do that. So first things first, let's do this part, right? I'm gonna just hide this. Cool. Box cutter. I'm gonna use wireframe. This is really driving me crazy. Brother. Okay. And we go in ever so slightly. That's good. Now what we want to do, disable wire. And we're gonna go into our scroll. Just make sure that the edges line up correctly. Started beveling vertices. Wait, what the heck am I doing? Okay. Sorry, I had a mini stroke there. Right. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Cool. Now, this inset, it's very small. It's not that deep. It's just about this much. So you can just go in, do smart apply. Cool. As always, I do not like the way that the edges go through here, because if we go to chamfer this, and we will go chamfer it, it's gonna cause us trouble. So by redoing these edges, when we go chamfer or bevel, see that now they're straight. Great. Give it a quick, nice chamfer. Right, and then we can just mirror it to the other side. Wait, actually, is it? It isn't. Never mind. No mirroring. That's it. Cool. Now, next up, we want to do these, right? So there's two at the bottom, two on top, and they go, yeah, they're perfectly mirrored on the other side. So, yeah, we can just do it right away. Just gonna grab wire, as always. Grab the top part. This is gonna be pretty straightforward. Just grab box and literally just do this. And this. Yeah, it's obviously you're gonna see this because this is not, it's a non-manifold mesh. See, it's cut at the bottom, so you're gonna see that weird stuff, but do not fret, we will fix it. So we're gonna do this, it has a little edge here, like that. Or at least it looks like it. Yep. Like it has a little bit of a chamfer there. So, oh, my screencast keys froze. One common. Cool. We're gonna shift bool, and we're gonna use slash. Yeah, most likely slash. Yeah, yeah, that works. Cool. Resharpen. Yeah, that's good. Now we're just gonna duplicate this, move it on the X, align it with this, and we're gonna go back here. Hold up. What? Hmm. This is interesting. I do see the I do see the boolean. I just because I smart applied, of course. Absolute idiot that I am. Should not have smart applied that. Now we have to go back. Yeah. Is it this one? No. This one right here. Get out of here. So we're gonna do something very smart, which is this. This looks to be a bit bigger, but weird. Okay, boolean slash. Very cool. And operation smart apply. Smart apply here as well. And smart apply. And just now get rid of these. And this one I'll actually keep it. Very nice. This is exactly what I wanted. Now, here, we're gonna bring this to the bottom now. Like this area. R, Y, 180. So we flip it upside down and align it with this one. Cool. Then we want to duplicate it on the X. Because these are not symmetrized. I mean, they're not equidistant from the center. So we really want to do this. So we grab these two, grab this. Very, no, actually, let's do them one by one. And let's actually exit that. Cool. Boolean slash. Boolean slash. Screencast froze, obviously, again. I love how buggy this thing is. And then we're gonna go into operations, smart apply, and smart apply, and smart apply. And we're good. Cool. Now if we move this, yeah, perfect. It's just cut, and that's it. Now, let's check for shading errors, because before I saw some weird thing that should not have been there. Yeah, cool. It's not there anymore. It's gone. Bye. Cool, cool, cool. Very nice. Okay, next up, we want to take care of this bottom part here, which is showing both in the front and at the back. It's gonna be pretty simple. So we just could grab the end gun cutter. Well, we might as well just do it with the box cutter as well. We don't necessarily need the end gun cutter. Yeah, but first I need to select my object, because otherwise it's not gonna work. And just literally do this. About as ignorant as it possibly can get. And just going to the ever scroll, just size it through. This is cool because it's not technically it's not even a manifold mesh, but it is working, which is very interesting. Theoretically, I should have kept that, those faces to keep it manifold, but I did not, and it's still working somehow. Well, anyway, so now, jeez, I hate my life. So now we're gonna grab the top face and just do this. Nice and easy. Now we want to just cyclic select all these. First, don't forget to apply rotation and scale. See, now we're getting issues. Lovely. Yeah, just give it like a 1 edge bevel. Yeah, it's really small anyway, so 1 edge bevel will do. And then we go into shift bool and let it slash through like this. Cool. Operations, smart apply. Operations, well, just apply triangulate as well. No, it did not. Okay, we are getting every sort of possible artifact that we can. Because it applied the bevel. Sweet. This is... Did it just apply it before without me actually noticing? It did. Huh. Oh, this is gonna suck. Yikes. Yeah, it applied the bevel earlier. Okay, so we can correct this. This is a pain in the ass, though. This is why normally you don't want to have a bevel modifier on. I was just gonna show you, but I screwed myself over a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And it probably applied it on top as well, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but it will require some additional time to fix, which is not ideal. This is not really a bevel, so we want to actually unchamfer. Yeah. So we're gonna have to go in and I don't know if I can do it to multiple ones, but we'll try. Well, that committed Sudoku right there. And chamfer. Nope, we have to do it for every single one. And this is what I get for not following my usual workflow. It's okay. Mistakes can happen. As long as you can fix them, it's all good. Although, if I wasn't able to fix it, I would have had to go back and redo all this. I'm not even sure how the bevel got applied in the first place, because normally it's not one of those modifiers that... Yeah, see, now we're gonna start to have fucking... We're gonna start to have some problems. Okay, so... No, that's not selecting correctly. Obviously. Illegal selection. Love it. Why is it an illegal selection? I was missing this? No, I was not missing this. Is it not going over at the other side? It is. That means that it should be legal. Ooh, we made a whole mess under here as well. Oh, that's great. So this is not connected, which is really weird. Right, so I'm gonna go manually select it, see if I can fix it like this. But to be really honest with you, To be really honest with you, I'm just wasting time here. I could just really do this, grow the selection, and not give a single. Cool. Just stop wasting time. Refuse it like this. I don't even need to do that. I'm just gonna go on EZ and slap it here. Hello, screencast keys. Thank you for not working again. Uh, then just grab everything once again, extrude along normals. Done. Sharpen. Bevel it. I wanna keep an eye on the bevel because it is actually really weird that it got applied just like that. It never happens. Must have done some weird stuff. So we're gonna bring it at the back. Cool. Now the boolean. So we're at this point where we cyclic selection. Cool. Shift it. Cool. Oh no. Classic Blender. Well, Blender was not working and not responding, so I decided to close it. Now, bear with me. Like, cheer with me, see if we get our thingy back, our autosave. And drum roll. Yay! We got it back. At least it looks right. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a couple things behind, but it is correct. Now, in order to avoid what just happened, I'm just gonna do this. Just to just select the bottom groove selection and then smashed everything together so that I avoid what just happened. I can just sharpen and bevel it once again. So, like, here's the thing. By the way, this is the weighted normals. Like, see how weird it's shaded, right? If I hide it, it looks normal. Hehehe, wordplay here, but it does look normal. But once I turn it on, see, it looks all messed up. This is because we don't have any bevel on it. Once you apply a bevel on it, then it's gonna start to look normal. Okay. Although obviously the bevel has to go underneath, like as in over the weighted normal, because otherwise, see, it just looks really bad. It's not what you want. What you want is this. Cool. Now, where were we at? First of all, I'm gonna save because I'm kind of tired of having to restart from there. Okay. Let's make it a one edge. Two edge. It's fine. Cool. Shift bool. Done. Now, Operation Smart Apply, being careful that it doesn't actually apply the bevel, because it is kind of annoying me with that. I don't know why it applied the bevel before, but it did. And apply this one too. Cool. Now I created some extra geometry. We're going to be dealing with that. We do not want this. And I think the inside is empty as well. Oh, it is not. Hell. Also created this extra geo. That's fine. Because obviously it always tries to make a manifold mesh, but we don't want it to be a manifold mesh. We want it to be exactly what it is. There you go. Cool. Very nice, very nice. It's all coming together. Now we want to do this piece as well, and this piece as well, which have to be separated because it's going to be a different color, and we're going to apply a whole bunch of decals on them. I do not want to make this a single decal. So, sure, once again, you could make one decal that has a different color so that it's a subset, but this is exactly the same material as this. It's honestly just easier not to do that and just split it, deal with it, be done with it. Simple as that. Also this, by the way, this part. So this is the back side. So it's on this side. Yeah, that side. Jesus. Cool. Let me actually unhide. Ooh, yeesh. So the cutters, we can actually delete the hierarchy. We also have, by the way, our older block out, which I'm pretty sure is this. Yeah, this is old block out. This is also the old. No, wait, shit, that was not the old block out. This is the old block out. Yeah, correct. Imagine if I deleted the wrong thing. See, this is why naming stuff in the beginning is it's a good idea. No, that looks alright. Cool, these are the pipes. And these are all the other little pieces. Nice. Okay. So nothing is really parented for now, and we're gonna keep it that way for a while. It's fine. We don't like yeah, these are parented actually. This is parented to this. And yeah, this is all one block. But yeah, this is the only thing that is parented right now. So that's fine. We're gonna keep it like this for now, and later we're gonna parent it correctly. Now, what we are interested in is this part right here. So we wanna now do exactly the same story that we just did, minus all the mess ups. Let's just save, just to be safe. Cool. We don't really have a reference. I mean, we have a like a side reference. We don't have, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it for now. See how it goes. Uh, Interesting. Slash is giving me issues. Why is that? I mean, I get it that it's a non-manifold mesh, but very interesting. I'm just gonna delete it for now. And you know what? Tired of this. I'm just gonna slice it. So roughly slice it, and then we take a look at it after, see how it goes. Cool. Got some interesting. Why is everything messed up today? What the hell? This is overlapping with something else. What? This is very interesting. Pretty sure that was from the slash. I swear to God, sometimes. Okay, let me redo this. Yeah, this is not really accurate, but it's fine. Yeah, let's go into front view and just get out so that it's actually pretty wide. It almost gets to the beveled part. Yeah, it's like a rectangle, but laid out horizontally. So this is definitely too high. Yeah, and these two we can actually Maybe bring this up a little bit. We have like a, see if we can get an idea where it gets to. Yeah, I think it's more or less the same height as this. That's about right, actually. Yeah, that's fine. I can give it a quick bevel here. Something like that is gonna do. Cool. And I'm gonna separate it. So that now, cool, separate it. What else? What else? These are done. This can be decals. Decals. This part. This part is on the back side as well. It's almost at the bottom. Almost. And there's quite a bit of a distance from the top. It's almost aligned with this one, actually. I swear to God. Okay, so we'll once again get my trusty slice. Actually, you know what? We could be using this just to make it from the center. Cool. Now we can just grab it. GZ. I think it's roughly like that. Just much higher with this edge. Yeah, that's about right, I would say. Cool. Now, what I don't like is these. Yeah, see these connections? They suck, right? These are not good. One, because we're gonna have to actually bevel it, and B, because actually, you know, these are not great either. We're gonna have to fix them too. Definitely, we have to fix them as well. So, what we can do instead of those connections, which are disgusting, we can just, for now at least, just literally run a knife through. Interesting. Okay, pretty sure since I use C, it went to cut on the other side as well, and it did. So, yeah, I'm quickly just gonna get rid of this. Now, these two, we can actually merge them, and we can get rid of these. Okay, it's collapsing on itself, so fuck you, I'm gonna do this. Right, now, bevel is not that big, is it? Nah, it isn't. Can you not? Fuck. Okay. And separate. Cool. Cool, now we have a couple more splits to do, I swear. And then we can just group up all of the different materials together. We can always, you know, like ungroup them and refuse them later. It's fine, but for the sake of being efficient, I'm just gonna do it like this. So this, oh, that's also not good. We wanna fuse this. Grab it to here, selection. Okay. Now we want to do a little bit of fixing as well here, because this is not good. So this is fine, this edge right here, but this edge is running in a way that with bevel it may cause some trouble. So what we can do instead, let's see, can run this straight into here, remove this edge. And this one, Do I even need this one? Yeah, I do. Just not there though. It's gonna be very offset, so you know what? Just gonna cut it straight vertical for now. Might find a better solution later, but now if I do bevel this, you will see. Jesus. You'll see that it bevels straight. So does the other one here. Bevels straight. Cool. Let's see. So I'm gonna grab this, this as well. These and the top part. These are all. Oh, missed this. So these are all of the parts that have a different color, right? And I'm gonna Control J, just join them together. Although, wait a minute. I selected this. Why did the bottom part get selected? I'm not entirely sure, so I'll redo it. Right, because I think this is a one piece. Yeah, okay, so I have to separate this. Cool. Did I grab everything? Nope, missing the top. Yes, these are all the parts that are screencast keys, obviously. These are all the parts that are another color. So Control J. And now they are all joined together. Nice. Okay, now we're gonna do exactly the same, but for the other material, so which is white. So we're just gonna select these. Check that it's all we need. Yep. Control J. Now, we're gonna be setting the parent now. In my opinion, the white material should be the parent, simply because it takes up the majority of the model, so to speak. So whenever you grab the white material, it's gonna move everything else. Now, this is the one, the main object. So we're just gonna call this incubator. Cool. And then we're just gonna shift select everything else. Just make sure that, yeah. Okay, it's everything else selected. Shift, drag, release. Now if we grab this and move it, there you go. Now, as you remember, if we export this into Unreal as it is, the origin is gonna be at the center. So if we drag and drop this onto a plane, it's gonna drop it like at this height. So the bottom part is gonna be underground. So what we want to do is we're just gonna select this, even though it's a different object, doesn't really matter. We're just gonna grab the bottom and we're gonna shift S and cursor to selected. And then we're gonna select the white object and we're gonna F3 geometry, no, origin to 3D cursor. There you go. So now the origin is at the bottom and we're good. I'm just gonna bring this back to cursor to world origin. Perfect. Right, so we're at a good point. Now we can begin to unwrap the model, set the textile density and all that. Keep in mind that we do have a glass material. Now you have two options. Either you include this glass material into the main material, which can be done, but you're gonna have to go and modify the material. You know, the main master material we made, so that it also includes translucency, and that it's gonna increase the how heavy that material is gonna be. Now, personally, glass is something like that in games is not really used that much. As in, like, you try to avoid using glass as much as possible because whenever you're rendering glass, you're double rendering what's behind it. Now, this is even worse because this is like a glass that uh, is not just a sheet of glass. It's just glass and then glass behind. So it's gonna like render what's behind again and then render what's behind again. So it's really heavy to actually have an object like this into a game. So personally, I would just make it a different material, be done with it. So this is gonna have probably three materials. It's gonna be the main um, master material that we use for most of the object, the glass and the plant, and that and maybe the dirt at the bottom, and that's it. So we still have a couple things to model. We're not done yet. Um, but for the sake of at least testing the materials, I'm just gonna now unwrap it and import it into Unreal and check out how it looks. So to unwrap this, we're gonna basically go into UV editing. Now, you could just kind of not care and like in many instances just literally just let it smart unwrap itself if you're like if you it's a small asset and you don't care so much, but we're gonna do this the right way. So for example, this like this whole part right here, I'm just gonna hide this. So this whole part right here, yeah, selected everything. Okay, so this can be a seam. So this is gonna unwrap flat. Actually, let's just start unwrapping it and then we check out how it looks. So yeah, this is that part, right? Then this part we may get away with leaving it like this. Now we want to find another seam that is not so obvious, maybe on the back side. Like grab one of these just so that it unwraps straight. Just gonna mark it the seam. So we unwrap it. Yeah, and it unwrapped pretty straight. Now we can try conformal instead of angle base, and yeah, it's a bit more straight like this. And so is this actually. That's good. And the bottom part, we can do the same exactly on the same side. We can mark its seam. And this we can leave it like this, most likely. Yeah, it is a little bit. I'm gonna put some margin here. Oh, that's a lot. I mean, I set it to 5, but it's not. It's because this is really small. You will see what I mean. Now, why is this so bent? It's most likely because of this, which we can, by the way, also do this. Mark seam. Yeah, and now it's straight. Perfect. This is a little bit deformed. Like, also, you can check stretching by doing this. Where is it? Display stretch. And it's gonna tell us where it's actually stretching. Now, the best way to actually check for stretching is also by, I use ZenUV. You can do this manually by just creating a material and applying the checker texture, but it's so easy with ZenUV. I just click checker texture and yeah, like 124 as a textile density is fine. I just need to set it though. And yeah, I can just go check and see what's skewed. To be honest, it looks pretty darn good as it is. Like there is some minor stretching as you saw, but since we're not really baking this, like and from substance, so if there is minor skewing, very very minor, that we can get away with it, it's fine. Now this is a little bit messed up, not gonna lie. Which face is this? It's this one right here. Unwrapping is really a lot of trial and error, so keep in mind that, by the way, there should be a 496. Yeah, that's fine. It's just slightly skewed there, so we can try to unwrap it another way in angle based. But this, I think, makes things worse somehow. Actually, not so much. Well, there is a little bit of skewing here. Well, if you want to solve this problem, you're just gonna... Actually, you know what? We can actually do this. You can just grab this and mark it the seam, because this is gonna be another color as well, if I remember correctly. Hold up. No, it's not actually. No, it isn't, but can easily be marked as a seam. So if we unwrap it again, now it should be a little bit better. So look at it. Set TD. Yeah, now it's definitely straighter than before. Not bad. Now this backside, I mean, this we could also, mark it, but it's not necessary really. It's pretty good as it is. Cool. Now, of course, we can do the same on the other side, which is gonna make it even straighter. Like, see, this part is skewing a little bit. Like, it's not straight at all. So, mark seam, and unwrap, set TD. There you go. Now it's nice and straight. Yeah. Yeah, that works. This part is also quite straight, which is very nice. And the bottom part, yeah, there is some deformation here. Like, if you really want to do it right, you could separate this part and just make it like, fine, let's do it just for academic purposes. So we're gonna mark this as seam, and that should fix it, because there is no bottom part to this. Yeah, the bottom part is cut out. So if I mark this as seam, it's gonna straighten out this part. So let's re-unwrap it, and the set TD. Yeah, we're looking at this. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not straight, but it's not bad. Try conformal. Conformal, I'm not gonna lie, it's generally a little bit better. Gives better results. Like, when I'm wrapping these sort of shapes, at least for me. We have sort of like the same issue here. As you see, it's like a bit weird. Simply because of this part. Now, this is actually gonna be a different color, if I remember correctly. No, it's also white. It's just ambient occlusion. Never mind. This is yeah, same story as the other one. So let's just mark the seam. There is no backside, right? Didn't forget it. Oh, but there is this. Oh shit. No, but it's not the same material, so no, yeah, this we can literally just make it. Trying to figure out if it makes sense to make it a like a decal or not. Probably, actually. Yeah, this we might make it a subset decal and make it a little different material than this. Yeah, because it doesn't look the same, right? So that is fine, I believe. That's fine. It's fine. We're gonna do a bit the same for this part. Cool. Alright. So back to unwrapping. So now we're gonna select everything, unwrap again, set the TD, and now it's straight. Yes. Cool. No weird skewing. Yeah. See, these two are perfectly straight, and it's exactly what we have here. Nice. Okay, so let's leave the TD correctly set and move on to other stuff. So now this, we're gonna apply also the checker texture here and set the TD. Oof. Oh, this is all nice and messed up. See, this is a really bad unwrap, for example, because I didn't touch it yet. Like, it looks absolutely horrible. It's like a failed abortion. Screencast keys is always not working as intended, but no worries. Okay, so the top part here, we can actually mark it as a seam. And to be consistent with what we did before, we're gonna mark this edge. Yeah, there is no bottom part here, so it's fine. We can mark this edge and re-unwrap it once again. And set the texel density. And it's very much not straight. Let's try with angle based, see how it goes. Is it deformed? Cannot tell. No, I don't think so. But just to be safe, let's just grab everything and increase the texel density more. Okay, maybe 50 was a little bit too much. No, I think it's fine. Remember, unwrapping for this sort of modeling technique, it's not that important, as in, like, it's important in the way that you want the texel density to at least be right. So, but you don't really care so much if stuff is perfectly straight, as in other models when you're gonna go into substance and work on them, because sometimes you want to have a specific texture running through, like like a certain, let's say, set of faces, which is like, a loop. And if it's not straight, you cannot do that. Now, the seams, you would fix them with triplanar projections, but, well, this is not the case. We don't need to do that. Like, we don't need to go crazy about that, because this kind of workflow allows us for some not giving a anyway. Set the TV back. Cool, that looks nice. Now this. So this has this inner part, which we can definitely mark as seam. Then this part here, we can also mark it as seam. And to be consistent with the rest of the model, we can mark this part as seam as well, so it unwraps it nicely. Then back here, we can grab all of these edges. Cool. Mark it as seam as well. And now we can, oh, oh my god, this is so bad. Okay, now let's try to re-unwrap it. Set the texel density, and it's still a little bit skewed, but it's starting to look a little bit better. Now, why is it still skewed? It kind of should not be. It could be that this part right here is making it twist in a weird way. It is a little bit. Now, it's not massive. You can still see it though. If you really want to do this, you can mark this as seam, re-unwrap. Now it's gone, but we'll have a very obvious seam here. Actually, give me a second. Wasn't this part different color anyway? No, it is definitely not. But it can be marked as a seam. Like, we don't need to be too crazy about it, in my opinion. Yeah, it can be fine. This part can be fine. Can be easily marked as a seam. Obviously, these are by themselves, so they will automatically unwrap correctly. We don't need to go crazy about it. As you can see, they're not stretched or anything. That's good. Same goes for these. This is another part that we don't need to care about. The bottom part, however, we definitely do, because this part will look horrifying. Right. Actually, let's start from this. So obviously the bottom, we could even delete this, but I will not. Cool. So this is the front side. So to be consistent with the rest, I'm gonna go to the back side and just grab this and mark seam. And I think that is it for the bottom side. Just gonna re-unwrap it and set textile density. And yeah, that's pretty much okay. As I said, it's not straight because obviously because of the fact that there is this and this. When it unwraps, it's always gonna be a little bit messed up. See, it's crooked. Oh, this is actually really bad. What? Huh. Why is it so bad? Ah, of course, yeah, because there's this. So what we can do here, I'm gonna deactivate the bevel because otherwise I cannot see anything when I select. We can mark this also as seam. And also mark this as seam. Now if we re-unwrap it, nothing's changed. Love it. Okay. Okay, cool. Now it's actually straight. Very nice. Oh. Yeah, I did an oopsie here. I accidentally made everything a seam. That was not my intention at all. Okay. Okay, well, it's still crooked, obviously, because, you know, because this part that is still connected to the rest, but it's fine. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Oh, by the way, just to prove my point, I'm just gonna, you know, select this edge and just mark it as seam and then unwrap it, and you will see that now it's gonna be actually straight. Yep. See? Now it's straight. But of course you have an extra seam. I try to put as few seams as possible, and honestly, with this kind of model, I can get away with it, so I'll do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, we need to obviously do these as well. Best and easiest, to be honest, is to just select this, and then, by the way, actually, I can just do this. Don't need it. Okay, so select this, and this, and also that. Mark as seam. And then we can just literally just run this edge loop here and mark that as seam as well. And now we unwrap it. By the way, applying also the checker texture and textile density. Of course, it's gonna look terrible. Oh, this is overlapping. Oh, that's not good. Come on, man. Look at this a-hole. Right. Jesus. Okay, we can redo this a little bit so that it doesn't overlap. So annoying. But well, that's sometimes 3D modeling for you. Okay, so let's just select them. EZ. Set Z. Okay, cool. Now, by looking at it like this, we can just grab these and we can just extrude them along the normals without them overlapping. Okay, cool, like that. Then just grab these and literally just chamfer them a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. Grab these and just fuse. Okay. Now this obviously these look like a failed abortion. Just gonna get rid of them. No, not that one. It's just clear seams, but no, I actually want this one. Mark seam, re-unwrap, set textile density. Yeah. Okay, this is looks weird because, like I said before, um, this edge is just dragging a lot, so we might actually want to fix it. Um, hmm. It's interesting. It's that the tube is actually, yeah, because obviously it's so curved that it does get a little bit skewed. That's true, but it's it's within acceptable range, I would say. The alternative is obviously just literally. Let me see. Yeah, the alternative would be to run one here, I assume, but doesn't really look good when we if we go put a texture on it. See, now it's a bit more. It's a bit better, but the moment we go put something on it, it's gonna look terrible. Like if it's a, believe me, it's gonna look way better like this. Even though, as you can see, that it's a little bit skewed, but you mess about with it a little bit, like from conformal to angle base. Ah, that's the one with the seam. Actually, yeah, see, this is one of those where angle based, it's gonna work a little bit better than conformal. Uh, Conformal is just, actually, what the hell? They both work the same way, more or less. Yeah. So what's going on with this? Yeah. So that's clearly missing a seam. Yeah, yeah, because of course we deleted this. So I'm gonna rerun the seam through everything. Mark seam. Re-unwrap and set textile density. Yeah, that we can work with, definitely. Cool. Now, last but not least, it's gonna be the glass part. Why do we wanna also? Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? Did I not take care of this? Hold up. Ah, no, we did not. Cool. So, thought we did. Never mind. Now mark this as seam. Be consistent with the model and just grab this whole edge loop. Mark the seam as well. And yeah, this one as well, because it's going to be nice and hidden anyway, this whole bottom part, so we don't need to care so much about it. Unwrap. Set the axle. Now it should look fine. Still some stretching here. What did I unwrap it as? Conformal. Conformal should be fine for this shape. It's just, I'm assuming this edge is really messing around with it. Yeah, I can just grab this and just mark a seam there. Try it again. Yeah, it's definitely better. Theoretically, I should do it here as well. But I'm not gonna do that. This is fine. It is fine. It's not messed up. It's all good. It's just minor stretching. You can really see it because obviously it's the checker texture, but without the checker texture, you wouldn't see it. Hmm. Texel's a bit screwed up. Texel density here. Why is it so weird? Yeah, this is because it's so yeah, it's so screwed up that it's not really working. So you know what? I'm not gonna care. Mark these as seam, re-unwrap, set texel density. Okay. Yeah. Now it's as it should be. These may be very obvious. We'll judge later how it looks, but no, for now it's fine. Now, last but not least, these three. So we can obviously remove top and bottom. Don't need to have it. Cool. And it becomes as simple as literally just doing 1, 2, 3. Mark seam. Select all. Unwrap. Checker texture. Set DD. Done. These all just open up flattened because they're just literally a plane wrapped on itself. That's it. Now we have an extra edge. Great. Now what is there to do? It is all unwrapped nicely. Okay, so we can remove the checker nodes. Now we're gonna do something very important. This is one of the most important parts. So whatever material you apply on something, Unreal is gonna think of it as well the material for that thing. But here's what I mean. So this, we're gonna make a new material like on this object and call it basic matte. For the sake of understanding what's going on, we're gonna go into the material viewer. We're gonna make this like a dark gray. And we're gonna give this to everything but the glass for now. So the glass is gonna get another material called, guess what? Glass. Cool. I'm gonna make it like, you know, very light blue. Nice. So material, you know, Unreal will not care about anything of sorts. Like it doesn't care that this is gray. You know, it's just an indicator to tell Unreal and make it understand that this is all of it, like one object with two materials: the glass and the main material, the basic material. Okay. Remember, now we need to actually vertex paint it so that Unreal is gonna understand which color, which actual material that we made is gonna go into it. So the model is mostly white, remember. So actually what I'm gonna do is not only axes aligned, but because I want to keep an eye on it. So this whole part, yeah, this whole part is gonna be red. So we're gonna select it all, go into vertex paint, and here I'm gonna use the amazing Vertex Color Master plugin. I'll select red, clear everything first. By the way, we can still do that thing of showing it as hold up. One sec. Just get out of the material viewer. Yeah, oh, we already have it set up because I can see the alpha. Okay, cool. And we're gonna fill it like this. This was, by the way to see the vertex paint. Oh no, yeah, no, we didn't set it up for this project. My bad. We were just in vertex paint. If I go back to into object mode, I cannot see it. So what I wanna do is I wanna go here and click on color attribute. Cool. Now we can see that this is red. Okay. And it's red because this is the vertex paint we just gave to this. So if I were to remove the red, now it's just the alpha, okay? But we're gonna clear alpha, actually fill with red, go back to alpha, and make sure it's cleared. To be honest, actually this is the black one. So instead of red, I might actually give it the green. Yeah, that's fine. I'll give it green. This whole thing, I want to give it the red because it's the white. It's the main material. But I'm going to remove the green, the blue, and the alpha. Cool. So now it's all red. Perfect. And then last but not least, we're going to use this as blue because this is a bit of a different material than the black one. This is more rubbery. This is more metal-y like. So we're going to give it the blue. Fill with blue, remove red, remove green, remove alpha. That's it. Our model is correctly vertex painted, just like that. And we can reopen Unreal Engine. Go into our library, reopen our project, which was called, God if I remember, Plant Incubator. Cool, now with my project open, by the way, I'm not sure what's wrong with OBS, but you're gonna see Unreal very stuttery. Not sure why. I'm gonna try to fix it in 1 second. I noticed in the previous videos. Yeah, it seems like it's an issue with OBS and Unreal. I don't know why, but it's very, very stuttery. But it's okay because I'm not really recording this for a game or anything. All I care is just to show you how things work. So I removed both of the template props that I was using. I'm just gonna reopen this and go into Unreal Engine. We need to actually make a couple modifications before we do this. Oh, by the way, yeah, need an attribute. Cool. It's all one object, right? Actually, it's multiple objects parented to this. So you have to make sure you select this to export. Do not select stuff like this. You want the parent, so this one. Then, like we did before, very similar story. You can open object properties, go into export recursive. No LOD. Collision, we can add it after, it's fine. Honestly, we don't really need it for this project, but I'll show you also how to do collision later. It's spoiler alert, it's gonna be by UCX underscore, same thing. And you make the shape, and that's it. It's that simple. Vertex color, we're gonna go with replace, I think. I'm always confused with the color option. I think it's replace, should be fine. Nomenclature, it's already done. Now the file path, as you can see, it's on export FPS static mesh. We do not want that. What we want is to go into our static meshes and just show folder and explore. Cool, as you see, we already have our static mesh cube. We're just gonna copy the path back into Blender and just paste the path. That's it. Export filters, we're just gonna unselect everything but static mesh. No selection filter. Cool. One asset will be exported because we have the main thing selected. Export to Unreal Engine 4. Now in Unreal, we're gonna get the prompt, import, and here you have to be careful. So vertex color override is at replace, and that's fine. We want combine meshes, remember. I mean, we already imported something before, so it's already gonna be set correctly, but you wanna make sure that you are setting it correctly, because if we don't have combined meshes, remember, it's gonna import also the children, but they're all gonna be scattered around, and it's a mess. So you want to combine, okay? Rest is all good. Import all. Was gonna probably import materials as well. Just delete. There's also like a thing to not have that happen, but anyway, we're gonna drag and drop. As you see, by setting the origin, now it's drag and dropping nicely. The rotation is fine as well. Like you can see the preview for the rotation. Rotation's good. Now, as you can see, it's nicely unwrapped because we can see it, right? Very nice. And now we can just apply our material. Like we will apply it to the static mesh, not directly onto this one. So we're just gonna open the static mesh editor, and as you can see, we have two materials, glass and basic matte. Obviously, glass is gonna be our material instance. Material instance bay matte. I'm gonna give it the 1. There you go. As you can see, there are still the see, this is red, this is green, this is blue, because as you remember, we were testing it with the correct color of the Vertex paints, and that's what we get. Obviously, if you want to fix it up, just open up my base matte 1. I highly recommend you to have it right next to the prop that you have in the world, and just open it up. Go into M1 properties. So the color of M1, which is red, is gonna be white. Remember? So red channel is gonna be white. The variation, we can make it a slightly darker white. By the way, actually, yeah, just note to self as well. Don't make things perfectly white. Never. Never just crank it up to white full. Always make it a little bit less than that. This one, we can just leave it to a little bit darker. For now, let's just leave it at this. After, we're gonna modify it properly. Now, this is gonna be a black, or at least a very, very dark gray. Cool. The question of metallic or non-metallic. So the first one, I believe it's like a painted metal. It's like a very, very much painted kind of metal. So whenever we're dealing with painted metal, it's always like kind of metallic, kind of not. It's like it's a little bit like a car. See, if we crank it up to full metallic, this becomes chrome, but we don't want that. We want it to be slightly metallic, but not too much. Like, this is something that you normally do not do. As in having materials that are like sort of metal, but not really. But in these case scenarios, it's how it is. Like, I mean, like a car paint is gonna look metallic, but not at the same time. And that's what the material is, pretty much. This, we could actually make it full metal. But no, because this is also painted, so we can leave it at this. As you can see, they're both very glossy, and they really shouldn't be. Should be like a 0.7, roughly. At least that's what it looks like. Maybe even 0.6. Yeah, that's good. Good. And then the last one, it's also like a sort of a really dark gray, but this is not metallic at all. So we're gonna bring it down to 0. And it's also very much not glossy. So we can bring it to a 0.8. Okay. Yeah, honestly, the bottom parts is too gray. So, by the way, I want it darker. The bottom parts actually should be pretty much the same as this material right here. Let me go check it real quick. But yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, see, they're different material. Like, this looks more like rubber, and this looks more like metal. So, that's the beauty of working with this plugin, is that we can just go in here and do it on the fly. I'm just quickly gonna separate it. Obviously, I was supposed to do the same on the other side. Genius. I'm just gonna grab these and Control J them. Going to Vertex Paint and this. So the darker metal was green, so I just need to fill it with that and clear the blue. Cool. Back into object mode. I can select the red and go to Unreal Engine and export for Unreal Engine 4. Now I go back. Changes have been detected, imported. I know you cannot really see it now, but if I go into M2, which is this darker one, and make it blue, now you will see it. Perfect. All right. Let's maybe make it a bit more metallic. Nice. Cool. It's nice, but it's very dark. Maybe a bit less dark. Okay. Yeah. I can work with something like that. That's good. Okay. We're at a good point, I would say. What we can do next is we can actually begin making our glass material as well, and detail like our model a little bit more, the material, like material wise, as in like adding, you know, color breakup, a bit of a, you know, roughness breakup as well, like some reflection breakup. And yeah, it's gonna be quite good. And then we can begin working on the decals a bit later on, but we're at a good point. Like, this looks nice.